And yeah, just as Alfredo said, I was actually contacted by organizers, and it's always such an honor.
You already have the mic.
Okay. Yeah, thank
Sorry.
you. It's always a big honor to be first of the day and kind of to open up the conference. And Alfredo said it has to be inspirational, right? Because most of you guys are students here, so I probably can inspire you with how Flutter works and with some career opportunities. So I started performing my research on how does the job market even look for students nowadays and for new grads. And I looked up some articles online, and some of them were like this, like AI anxiety is preventing career ambitions, and entry-level roles are vanishing. Young people battle to find any work. College grads are losing their edge. And my favorite, the joblessness apocalypse. This is very inspiring, right? You guys are inspired already? So yeah, I figured maybe don't be inspired. It's okay. I get it. I think most importantly, we try a different thing today, and we try to get you hired instead, because it looks like that might be more suitable for your guys' situation. My name is Ivanna. I'm a Google developer expert in Flutter and Dart. I came here all the way from Latvia, so I have no idea what organizers just said because I don't speak Spanish, unfortunately. And I'm known in Flutter community for speaking at some conferences. I am also known for winning a couple of coding competitions and hackathons and stuff like that. And can you please raise your hand if you have tried Flutter before? Okay, a couple of you. So if you have not, Flutter is a framework. It's an open source framework, and it's built to make multi-platform apps. And it's written with a programming language that is called Dart. Here you can see the syntax example. I think my microphone is probably not working anymore, right?
So probably this like. Can you see this one?
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay, let's continue. So this is the Dart programming language, and Flutter is written with Dart. And Dart is a modern programming language. It's client optimized, and it has some cool features like being type safe and having now sound safety, and having a feature called code reload that you should definitely try if you are new to Flutter, static analysis, debugging tools, and all the cool stuff like that. And is cross-platform even relevant in 2026? I did some research on that. I opened up Google Trends, and I just entered here cross-platform app development, and you can see that during the last year or year and a half, the interest for cross-platform development specifically has grown. And I think another indicator for cross-platform to be really popular is that native developers, Android and iOS ones, they now want to also develop for the other platform. Here's what I checked. So Kotlin multi-platform, you maybe heard about that one already. It was becoming stable in November 2023. And just about 1 month ago, actually, we heard that Swift SDK for Android will be the thing. So Android developers want to develop for iOS, and iOS developers suddenly want to develop also for Android. That means cross-platform is probably to stay, right? But what about Flutter itself? Is Flutter popular? Maybe there is a different framework that we should use. Well, let's see. Flutter is considered to be in its production era right now. If you have been following, maybe some of you were Google Cloud Next event that happened 1 month ago, then you would know that Toyota is actually using Flutter for their infotainment systems. Xiaomi is a really big company that you all probably know. They are also experimenting with Flutter for their operating system. And Bank of India, State Bank of India, actually moved their app of over 80 million users to use Flutter. Google uses Flutter for many different apps, including the Google Pay for over 100 million users. And there is a service called Apptopia, which report that nearly 30% of new App Store apps are now made with Flutter. But the question I want to ask today is, because you guys are students and because the job market looks really weird right now, what is it that makes a software framework really future-proof? What would make your choice of tools in your career future-proof? And to answer this question, I want to have a look at a book that was actually written in 2013. It's a book by a New York Times best-selling author called Tyler Cowen, and it's called Average is Over. It's a book on economics, and it debates that in future, which means after 2013, the average class will start disappearing. There will be the lower class, and there will be kind of elite or upper class. And the reason that will happen is due to machine intelligence. And again, this was written in 2013, so more than 10 years ago. And you all probably know what happened in 2022 when ChatGPT was released, and in just 2 months, they gained 100 million users. And that pretty much changed the world. So I want to look at some other predictions that Tyler made, and I also want to look at Flutter roadmap and how Flutter stands in terms of being future-proof. So let's start with the first prediction from the book. Education must be rebuilt around technology because the old systems will be outdated and we need a change. Can you raise your hand if you think that educational system in university or school is a bit outdated? Oof. Exactly. But you see, if you are a government or a university or a school system, to actually change something, it might take years or even decades. It's hard. But if you are a software developer, if you are a framework, if you are a tooling, you have a luxury to be able to update faster. And in the Flutter roadmap this year, we have a new thing that is called Dart and Flutter Learning Pathway. And by the way, all the links I'm sharing with you guys will be available at the end of my slides, so no need to worry about that. I will share everything. So Dart and Flutter Learning Pathway is something that Flutter team has prepared, and that is suitable for both new learners who just want to enter the Flutter world, and also for those who want to switch from other technologies. You can build 3 apps. There are code labs, there are videos here, and you can be introduced to the world of Dart. So if you want to start with Flutter, this would be the place where I recommend you to get started. Next prediction by Tyler is that actually there will be a rise of freelance work, not so much corporate work. And again, this book was written more than 10 years ago, and I did my research, and it's actually true, it's already came true, and the freelance market will grow even more. In 2030, it will grow up until $20 billion industry. And again, if we think about the choice of tooling and frameworks and programming languages, what is it that would make you, if you want to become a freelancer, what is it in the framework that would make you successful? Well, I think, and this is what I've heard about Flutter from many businesses, that the reason why they want to work with Flutter is because you pretty much get two for the price of one. Remember how Flutter is multi-platform? So if you build Android app for your customer, imagine that you are a freelancer, it's not really expensive, or even it's really cheap to add iOS app as well. So that will make you more competitive in this area. And it's not just that, you can build also for web with some limitations. You can build for Mac OS, for Windows. I have built Windows app myself. You can build for Linux, for TV. As we've heard from Toyota, you can build for cars, for different devices. Pretty much anything that has a screen, you can build for with Flutter. Another thing, if we think about being a freelancer, is that you want to kind of deliver end-to-end service to your customer, right? You don't want to hire someone else. You want to deliver everything yourself. And that means you want to be full stack. And in the Flutter roadmap, there is a commitment for Dart to go towards full stack language. And it's already started that journey. This year, GenKit was available for Dart. GenKit is this framework that you can use to build Gen AI apps. I will speak about Gen UI a bit later. And also Cloud Functions. You now can use them for backend written in Dart. And of course, you can write your front end with Dart as well, which will make you a full stack developer. Dart Frog was around for a while, and the next talk after mine will be exactly about that. Serverpod is another option for building backends with Dart, so you have a bunch of tools to choose from. And if you add Firebase, which is available for Flutter apps pretty much out of the box for most of the platforms, then your customer can get backend from you, frontend for mobile, for maybe desktop apps, and Firebase services like analytics, Crashlytics, performance monitoring, so you can offer this full package of services as one solo developer. Next prediction is that there will be this rise of elites. And by elites, Autor means that this will be people who can leverage AI, who can really leverage working with those machines, and they will be really like dominating the economy. And here I was thinking, does Flutter have that special something, maybe something innovative, something that others do not have, to give you that competitive edge, to have that factor of, okay, this is something never heard before, this is interesting, I should offer this to my customers. And that, of course, would be Gen UI. As you can see in this picture right here, Gen UI is the framework when the user does some input to the app, and AI agent decides what UI or what visual elements to show to this particular user. This is something that Flutter team is betting on as kind of the next big thing. And I think even if you just check out Gen UI and try it once, and you mention Gen UI in your job interview to your interviewer, they will be impressed because this is still new, this is still innovative, and I definitely encourage you to go out and try what you can build with it, because there might be some creative appliances to this. Another thing that is also mentioned in the roadmap is this ephemeral code delivery. And that means being able to publish apps, for example, Android and iOS, without going through the process of story views, which means kind of over the air. And Shorebird is one of the services that was around for a while, and I'm not sure they're a sponsor of this conference, I think so. So you should also check them if you want to go deeper into mobile development and kind of code push way of delivering your apps. Okay, next prediction is that society will become more individualistic. We will be responsible for our own outcomes, because the systems, big systems, they will become weaker and weaker. And what does it mean for a software framework? Everyone is responsible for their own outcome, but the system is working as a whole. Well, that means open source. Flutter is already open source. They say on the roadmap for future that they are committed to be a strong ecosystem, open and sustainable operating model. So Flutter is already there in terms of individuals being responsible for their own outcomes while building this big and strong system. And we also have pub.dev, which is the collection of packages and plugins that you can add to your apps that has over 20,000 different plugins and packages for you to check out, and you can use them all. And last but not least, prediction is that your success will depend on complementing the machines. What does it mean? Well, what Tyler means is that instead of competing with AI, where you think, okay, will AI take my job and AI is my enemy, you have to complement it. You have to use it as kind of the extension of your professional abilities. And what does the Flutter team thinks about AI? Well, they have an article that is called What Flutter Thinks About AI in 2026. And let's look what they say there. Add, don't replace. Isn't that kind of the same thing that Tyler said? Don't replace, but add, right? So you complement the machine. Each developer should be empowered to use AI assistant, right? There is no goal to be replaced by AI, but rather the goal to be enhanced by AI. And today you will also have a great talk with live coding session, so make sure to stay and watch that as well. We have top-tier support in Gemini CLI for Flutter from Google. We have top-tier support in anti-gravity. Maybe you have used that, maybe you tried Cursor or Windsurf or other AI IDE. That's kind of the same thing. MCP servers for Dart are officially supported. There are also some community developed ones. And there are rules and skills, now also official ones, aside from the community-made ones, for Flutter and Dart that you can go ahead and grab from the official website, and you can just try and ask your Float Code or whatever you are using, Gemini, to go ahead and try and build Flutter up for you and see how that goes. And the vision is that Flutter is uniquely positioned to focus specifically on AI builders. So to answer today's question, what is it that makes a software future-proof? Well, first of all, it has to be built for continuous learning, right? It has to be easy to pick up, it has to be easy to relearn, and it has to adapt to any changes on the market, on the trends, and stuff like that. Second of all, it has to enable you a full-stack leverage and also a multi-platform leverage. Because if you want to go on a freelance path, these things might get you more successful. Number three, it has to give early adopters an edge. Things like Gen UI will give you the advantage of offering your customers or your company that you will be working for something really innovative, something that will make your customers go, wow, I have never heard this before, this is amazing. Number four, it has to thrive without central control, which is exactly what open source is for. And number five, it has to be designed around AI collaboration, because AI is here to stay, it's not going anywhere, and we have to act on that also in terms of how we develop the frameworks and the programming languages from now on. If you want to grab the links that I shared and the slides of this presentation, you can do that under the QR code right here. You can also give me some feedback under this link. It will really help me to reflect and to grow. And you can contact me on social media for any questions that you guys might have. I definitely wish you to all become successful in your career, and if you have any questions, let's discuss them after this talk. With that being said, thank you so much.